everybody. Welcome to the show. Today we're talking about cellulite. So I'll let you guys start coming on. I'm Darnell Cox. I'm 55 years old. I'm a gerontologist and healthy aging coach. So today's topic is about cellulite. Hi, hello. Good morning, everybody. I had a little frog in my throat. Having a little sip of my mushroom coffee. Hello, hello. I have exciting news that I'm gonna let you guys start coming on a little bit more, but I do have some exciting news. Today we are talking about cellulite. Why now in October when we're getting ready for the holidays to come? Because it's not something that you need to cram for your finals. This is something that, oh yay, at the gym. This is something that you could work on year round. And do we even want to spend the time and effort and money to do it? Because everybody has it. First, before I start, so today is all about cellulite. But before I start, I have a little bit of exciting news to share with you guys. So I booked my first live TV show in New York next week. And I'm super excited about it. And ordinarily, I would be extremely nervous. I'm not going to tell you the TV show yet because it's still a little bit I don't know if I can announce it yet, but I did book this TV show live, and ordinarily I would be nervous. I would doubt myself. But I have to say, these live shows, being here with you guys every week for an hour and talking about various subjects, has really helped me to practice to do this. Thank you so much, Alyssa. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you. And there'll be more on that one as it gets a little bit closer, but it's literally like in 10 days. So I'm leaving next week for New York. Of course, I'll still be doing my lives, but I just wanted to say, thank you to my one-on-one clients who let me practice on them, and I get to see the results. So that's like in motion, right? All the stuff that I've learned, all of the knowledge that I come with, to be able to work one-on-one with somebody and see those results, either if it's a shrinking waistline or a living longer on the planet, or usually that means both. And it's the people in the club, my subscription club, who help me figure out, what am I even going to be talking about on these live shows? What do you guys want to learn? And mostly, though, I have to say it's this community. It's this every Saturday and every Sunday. You guys being here, you've allowed me the honor of being in your home or on your phone in your life to be able to coach you and teach you and share with you. And it's been a lot of practice that I've had you guys, be the subject of. So I've practiced a lot on you guys to be able to, I think, be on any sort of platform and feel comfortable enough in the knowledge that I have to be able to share that. So with all humility and gratefulness, I just say thank you to you all for being here and for helping me be able to fine tune these kind of skills that I have. So thank you. Okay, now back to cellulite. Ooh, why the hell are we still talking about cellulite? Because it's still freaking here. It's October, but guess what? We still have cellulite. So the two reasons I'm going to be talking about this today is I still get a lot of questions from viewers about cellulite treatments. I had a client the other day saying, I'm going on a trip for through the holidays, and I really want to address the cellulite in my legs. And my first thought is, why'd you wait till now? It's something that when you talk about cellulite, we can talk about healthy skin versus just looking for the appearance to be better, right? So I tend to focus on the health of the skin. And when you focus on the health of the skin, you're going to be a lot more likely to be consistent with these type of at-home treatments that will help with the overall health and circulation and all of the stuff that we talk about with our face and the rest of our body. It applies to cellulite as well. So if we focus on the health of the skin and not decreasing the appearance of cellulite, we have a lot better chance of sticking with it. So Consistency is key. So I want to go over some facts and fictions. Some of the fictions are that cellulite can be cured. Cellulite cannot be cured. It is not a disease. It's a structural issue, not issue. It's a structural fact of our anatomy. And I'm going to go over this. It's not something that we should try to hide or to treat necessarily unless it's something that bothers you personally. Celebrities have cellulite, rich people have cellulite. It's not like you can just throw a bunch of money at this problem and it'll go away. It is in the structure of our fat cells in comparison with our fascia and how that fat pushes up through the outer epidermis to make the mattress effect. So let's just go over, first of all, the facts are that cellulite does not mean unhealthy skin. So when I see something like this, it totally pisses me off. Because how is this healthy and this unhealthy if 99, let's just say, about 80% of women have cellulite? If 80% of women have cellulite, are all women's skin unhealthy? That makes no sense to me. I think that's such bullshit. And they need to start changing these kind of labels on this. This isn't healthy and non-healthy. You can be the thinnest person and do everything right, and guess what? You're probably still going to have cellulite. It doesn't mean that, yes, you are alive. Anybody who's alive is gonna have cellulite. Unless you're a man. Let's look at the male anatomy. Okay, so we've got the epidermis, which is the top layer of the skin. That's where the hair starts coming out. We've got the dermis. This is the place where we want to stimulate collagen production, right? So when we're doing radio frequency, we're getting into the dermis of the skin. And when we're doing microneedling on top, we're calling on the dermis area to then start producing collagen and elastin. The issue is with the fibrous bands that attach the dermis with the muscle. Do you see this? You see these bands, these these vertical bands here? We've got the blood supply underneath, and these are all fat cells. So the fat, what happens is these fibrous bands will pull down, and as we gain weight, or even not, just the structure of the cell will push up and cause a rippling effect in the skin. Men, look at the way that the men's fibrous bands are aligned. Ours are aligned straight up, like vertically. Male fibrous bands, the fascia is crisscross. So there's not the opportunity for the fat to push up. Now, some men do have cellulite. It's not common, but it is there. But the reason why women, 80% of women, and when I say women, I'm talking about 18 and over. When you're talking about somebody who's 50 and over, somebody who's in menopause, we're looking at 90 to 95% of women have cellulite, and it increases with age. So we're gonna go over all of that. For all of you guys just joining, thank you so much. We're talking about cellulite today, and the reason why we're doing that is because cellulite is not just a summer problem. And it's not even a problem because 90% of women over the age of 50 have it, 90 to 95, 80% of women throughout the world have it. That's of various ages, sizes, fat content, and everything. I'm gonna show you something. I'm 55 years old. I am in amazing health, but I'm gonna show you, let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do this. You see that? That's cellulite. That's cellulite. I am in great shape, 55 years old. Look at that. Do you see that? That's the mattress effect. Everybody has it. All women have that. That's cellulite. Tomorrow we're going to get up close and personal with my cellulite as I go through like all of the different devices and things at home that I think are things worthy of trying and things that I've been dealing with and working with over the last, 20 plus years. So I've got a lot of insight of what really works, what's bullshit, what the marketing is trying to push on us. There's a lot of snake oil on the market, almost literally. And there's a lot of, broken promises and money wasted. So that's what we're going to try to get through to the bottom of. But it's interesting because it's so normal that like in the 17th century, women, you see these paintings, and the women's cellulite is not covered up. It's not airbrushed. It's out there for everybody to see. It's part of the female anatomy and celebrated as a woman's figure, as part of a woman's figure. Because it is. This is the way we're designed. This is the way a male is designed. We have more likeliness of pushing that fat up and creating that dimpled effect, right? Some people have like the big giant dents everywhere. Some people just have like an orange peel effect. And then some people have like just a ripple, like a little bit of a rippling through the entire skin. There's lots of different types of severities of cellulite, but the bottom line is we all have it. We've got a couple choices. We can embrace it and say, you know what? This is the way I'm made. This is it. This is, why am I spending the time and effort to worry about this? I'm going to wear the short shorts and the bikini anyways and strut my stuff. Good for you. There's a part of me that does that I fight with that every single day. Most of the time that little voice wins, but there is the little voice in me as well that says, let's fix what we can fix and let's accept the things that we cannot change. We're not going to be able to change this, but can we reduce the appearance? We can. There's some things that we can do that reduce the appearance. It wasn't until this like 60s when Vogue started focusing on cellulite that all of a sudden there was a market, and they're going to have us buy stuff and all that stuff. They started marketing creams and different things for cellulite as if it was something that we had to fix. This wasn't until like the 60s, 1700s, it was celebrated and painted. Those are hanging in like amazing museums around the world, and we can see what the female figure was in the past and how we have now changed that and are shaming people into not wearing what they want to wear or making us self-conscious about it. So there's two things or three different ways that you can approach it. You can just say, you know what, this is me. I'm going to accept it. You can change the things that you can change, which I'm going to go over right now. Or you can just keep fighting something that's not ever going to be totally smooth. There's a genetic component. I want to go over some of the causes of cellulite because, as we know, it's literally fat pushing through fascia, okay? So it's fat cells that are pushing their way up with this fibrous bands pulling down that is creating the rippling effect. That's what's happening. 98% of menopausal, 95 to 98% of menopausal women have this. So the causes, there's multiple causes. Genetics play a role. So if your mom or your grandma or somebody like that has cellulite, the chances that you have cellulite are also pretty high. It doesn't mean that we are a slave to our genetics because there's so many things that we can do to fight against what are the genes that we were given, right? So the interesting thing is that when we go through menopause in midlife, not even through menopause, even perimenopause in your 30s, your estrogen starts declining. And that's what I want to talk about today is what happens, why specifically were we able to, for those of you who are in midlife with me, why specifically were we able to wear short shorts and not have any cellulite in our youth, and now in midlife are like, what is going on? And it probably started around mid-20s, which is when our collagen production goes down. So with an increase in age, our estrogen declines. Hyaluronic acid, when our estrogen declines, the moisture content in our skin declines. So hyaluronic acid declines. So anything that would plump this skin up, any moisture that would plump this skin up gets depleted with a drop of estrogen. That gives us more ripples. Elastin and collagen decline. So what's made in the dermis over time in your 20s, mid-20s, you start losing 1 to 3% of collagen per year. So when this starts declining, then you've got even more dimple effect. There's a lot of stuff that declines. Circulation declines with age, with menopause. Lymphatic drainage declines. So how can you get all the fluid out? Muscle mass declines, starts declining at the age of 30, and sarcopenia can happen, which is when fat starts infiltrating the muscle. It's very hard to lose weight after that. So with the decline of muscle mass, all of a sudden we've got this skin that's losing elasticity and it's losing collagen, and the fibrous bands become even tighter, just like any ligaments and bands and fascia in our whole body. These bands with age and with menopause become even tighter. And then in addition to that, our toxic load increases as we age because we're just loading and loading and loading. And so that also contributes to unhealthy skin. Okay, so we gotta love our body, or we can like try to fix the things that we can fix. There's no fixing cellulite though, you guys. You look like you're a mask. What's wrong with your natural aging women? Nothing's wrong with being a natural aging woman. I think that the way that we're aging is changing now. I mean, this is the 21st century. I feel that this is naturally aging. It's just called self-care. So we've got a couple different options. You can pick your own path towards old age and not do any sort of things that are great for your body or your skin. And that's going to show up down the line when you pick your head out of the sand and you said, hey, what happened? Who's this person in the mirror? What happened? Or you can do these little steps that I'm going to go over that have to do with the health of the skin, the health of the body. And what I'm suggesting is not the surgeries and those kind of things that, you know, there's a lot of risk to that, and there's not great results at this point. But there's things that you can do that talk about the health of the body. Yeah, maybe you're on the wrong channel. Yeah, maybe you're on the wrong channel. Okay, so let's go over the creams first, because there's no fixing it. But there are creams that can potentially make a difference temporarily. And sometimes when we've got an event, temporary is okay, right? Temporary is okay. So what you're looking for when you look for a type of cellulite cream, I'm going to try and see if any of these have them. But you're looking for caffeine, because just like when we use caffeine for our eyes, if you guys have seen my younger looking eye protocol, I do caffeine when I have eye bags. Caffeine works the same. It's like a diuretic, shrinks things. So it shrinks down the fluid under your eye. It also shrinks down any fluid that could be pushing up and creating more bands. So if you have fluid retention, guess what? It's pushing up. It's filling the space up. The bands don't change. So fluid retention is one of those. So what can we do? When we're looking at creams first, before I go on to fluid retention, we're looking at caffeine to depuff, bring that area down. We're looking at retinoids to help resurface and increase cell turnover. We're looking at, there's things like, you can do actually like a do-it-yourself coffee scrub, because you're looking at exfoliating the exterior of the skin and then infusing it with caffeine that really kind of helps, as it uses it as a diuretic to not only resurface, but to lymphatically drain and kind of get rid of that fluid in there. And you can do like 1 cup of coffee grounds, a 1/2 cup coconut oil, and 2/3 cup coarse sugar. Make that into a paste, scrub it onto your legs. And that is something that really does kind of help to draw the fluid out and to kind of actually help with cell turnover as well. Physical manipulation is one of the main things that I do at home. And by physical manipulation, what I'm meaning is dry brushing, right? So when you're moving the fluid up from remember, anytime you're gonna move fluid, you're gonna have a smoother skin. So by doing dry brushing and manipulating that fluid towards the lymph nodes of the underarms, near the groin area, all of that helps to kind of make that a little bit smoother, because we're manipulating that fluid and drawing it out. So dry brushing is great. Body rollers, let me see if I can grab this real quick. Things like this, like the foam roller. This is one of my top treatments at home, is to do foam rolling at home, because we're kind of getting to the root of the problem in that we are helping the fascia get a little bit more limber. So when we're doing that, when we're giving a little bit more elasticity in with the fascia, and we're helping with lymphatic drainage from the roller, you're getting like a double bang for your buck. And this is like $10, $15, I don't know. It's just foam and it's on Amazon, but very, very effective for cellulite. Now, what I mean by effective is it effectively reduces the appearance temporarily, because you still have to continue to do it. There's not a one-shot treatment. I'm going to get into the surgery in a second, which I would not recommend. Anyways, okay, so there's not a one-shot treatment, but I want to get back into the physical manipulation. There are cuppings, which I am not a fan of. I do have a whole set of cupping in the bathroom. And the reason why I'm not a fan of that is because when you're using it on your legs, when you're suctioning and dragging, you can do that more smoothly and less traumatically with a dry brush or a foam roller than you can sucking with the suction cup and moving it around. The reason why I say that is because as we get older, our whole capillary system becomes a little bit more fragile, and you could break blood vessels and then have to get those removed or have to deal with those. So we want to do stuff at home when we're talking about physical manipulation that's not going to be detrimental to our skin. And so we don't want our whole vascular system to be sucked and pushed and cut and all of that stuff, because you could end up with, causing more harm than good and having to get your veins and arteries and all of that stuff kind of addressed then, which that's a whole other live show. Okay, so I did want to talk about this a little bit. This is one of the devices I use at home. This is the Glow 910 Plus. This is like physical manipulation. When I'm talking about physical manipulation and trying to get into the fascia, this is what I mean. This is by Glow 910 Plus. It's got like these kind of teeth on it. This is not attractive, but I'm going to show you anyways. Tomorrow I'm going to do a whole demo on this. But as you can see, look at all the things that are moving in here. Ooh, let's do that again. Look at all the things that are moving in here. So this will help to increase circulation. It can move things towards your lymph nodes for, to be absorbed by your body and secreted by your body. It's really interesting because this also has a dry brush attachment. And so if dry brushing is something that you love, this is like dry brushing on crack. This is like you're literally in one of those car washes. But I love this for the legs because it's, it's doing many, many things. It's manipulating the fluid out. It's resurfacing. It's stimulating collagen production. It's keeping everything moving. And that's what helps to diminish those signs. So I'm not a big fan of the fascia blaster. Has anybody tried this? And I'm not here to bash that device because it's been around forever and a lot of people love it. But what I've found is that when I manipulate that on my leg, I wish I had it. It's downstairs. I know exactly where it is. If my husband's listening, it's in the dog toy thing on the side of the couch. Only if you're listening, honey. But in manipulating that on my legs, what I found is I would end up with a bruise or I'd end up with a little broken blood vessel. So you need to be careful when you're doing physical manipulation, that you're doing something that is gentle enough to get the job done and is not going to mess up with any bruising or anything that's going to, make it to where you have the little blue spider veins. Okay. When we're talking about working deep, this is down here in the muscles. When we turn in our mid-30s, we start losing muscle mass. So when we start losing muscle mass, we don't have that support system. So all of this is supportive. Let's just think about this as supportive. You've got your epidermis, your dermis, your fat cells, you've got the fibrous bands, and you've got the circulation here and the layer of muscle. The more muscle mass we have, the less this is going to be apparent. Does that make sense, you guys? You want to build that up because when we lose that, it's not like the skin shrinky-dinks back to where it was before. We lose the muscle mass. Now all of a sudden we've got this skin that's been puffed up for 30 plus years. And now it's like that. It's like a little bit like this, right? You pump that up again with some muscle mass and all of a sudden you've got a little bit smoother surface here. So building muscle is super important if you are one that wants to decrease the appearance of cellulite. But listen, the things that I'm suggesting, like dry brushing, great for your health and your skin. You know, things like working on your fascia with the foam roller or with devices such as this, great for your circulation, for your lymphatic system, for all of that. This is not just appearance that we're talking about here. We're talking about the health of your skin. When we're talking about doing in-office treatments that have to do with building that muscle back, you're looking at things like M-Sculpt, which is like, I think it's 30,000 contractions in 30 minutes. I don't know if you guys have seen those, but those are the ones where they'll put a device on you and it'll kind of work your muscle out, or they'll put it on your abs, it'll work your muscle out. Those are great, and they're great for building initially that muscle. It's costly. You have to keep going. If you had a really good weekly workout that incorporated lifting weights, then you're going to have a better result. And not only that, but it's helping with so many other things, right? So it's helping with cardiovascular health. It's helping to boost your mood. It's helping with that loss of muscle mass. It's helping with bone strength. So doing things like that, like lifting weights, is something that benefits your entire body and your entire health and your health trajectory. So these aren't things that I'm saying, oh, we should be ashamed of cellulite. Let's do this, this, and this. No, you're going to improve your health by doing the things that I'm talking about. And the reduction of cellulite is just a bonus. Okay, moving on. Red light therapy. Red light therapy is something, if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I'm obsessed with red light therapy because it does a lot of stuff from wound healing to increasing circulation, to skin, fine lines and wrinkles, rosacea, melasma. It works for a lot of different stuff. Guess what? It also helps with cellulite. Why do you think it does that? Let's look again. If we increase the circulation, we're increasing all of the movement of the lymph, all of the fluid that comes in here. We're increasing that circulation when we're doing red light therapy. We're energizing the cells as we're doing red light therapy. We're working not only on the upper layers, but we're also increasing the whole health on a cellular level with that increase of ATP in the mitochondria. So we're energizing that whole cell. An energized skin with great circulation is going to be a lot smoother on top. That's when it comes with the health of the skin. You can fight your genetics. You can fight your genetics with these types of things: lifting weights, red light therapy, physical manipulations. Oh, here's another physical manipulation. Have you seen these kind of body rollers? This is the Nurse Jamie body uplift. And these two work to kind of, let me see if I can get up here. These two work to push all of the fluid and make that skin a little bit smoother. Now, it's not a miracle. It's literally lymphatic drainage. Both of these are lymphatic drainage. Okay. Also, what else happens with the red light therapy is it decreases inflammation. And when you've got inflamed skin, guess what? You're gonna have more of this. Has anybody ever went on a vacation and thought ooh, I look great right now, and then had a cocktail, night before, and then woke up the next day, put your bathing suit back on again, and you're like, wait a second, what happened? That's fluid. That's the fluid that's building up that is then causing more of the dimpling. So your lifestyle can make a giant difference in the look of your cellulite. So healthy lifestyle, although you guys, I have to repeat this, no matter how healthy you are, no matter how thin you are, you still could have cellulite. There's a genetic component. 80% of women around the world have cellulite. 90 to 95% of postmenopausal women have cellulite. Get over it. It's okay. Concentrate on the health of the being, on the health of the skin. Your cellulite's gonna diminish naturally from that. Don't stress so much about oh my God, I can't put on a bathing suit, da 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 da. Everybody has it. Everybody has it. There's been a couple times when I've decided ooh, I don't feel comfortable taking off my robe or whatever. I'm so over those days. Cellulite or not, I'm gonna be in a bikini. I hope you guys will too. I hope it doesn't change what you're doing. But if it does change what you're doing in the day and you feel self-conscious about it, there are things that we can do. When we're working on the surface, so we just talked about when we're working deep, right, with the muscles, we're building the muscle up, we're increasing circulation with the red light therapy. Now, when we're working on the surface, things like microneedling, things that call on your body to produce its own collagen. So when we're stamping or we're using a Dr. Pen M8, which I use often, to stamp this, and then we're calling on the collagen in the dermis level to come to the rescue and increase collagen production. We're calling on the fibroblasts, sorry, not the collagen. We're calling on the cells, the fibroblasts, to increase collagen and elastin production. That's gonna give your skin more thickness and more smoothness. So more collagen production is going to improve your skin just like it does any other part. More collagen production in our face improves our skin tone and texture, right? Fine lines and wrinkles. It does the same thing on the outside. We're increasing the collagen. It's going to give us a little bit more cushion there, right? It's going to give us a little bit more cushion. Okay. There's a lot of stuff you can do as well on the exterior, like chemical peels. Sometimes I'll do chemical peels on my knees. I like that. What is it? The Ordinary 30% AHA, 2% BHA red peel that you've seen me do before on my face. I do that sometimes on my legs. Why? Well, because the exterior, we want to hit it in all directions. The exterior of the skin, the epidermis, is important. And that is what calls on the lower layers to produce collagen. So if you're doing your weekly, let me see if I can just grab this form. If you're doing your weekly peel, which I do, I think it's every Thursday. I don't remember, I have to look at the thing. But why not just throw it on your legs as well? That's my thought. That's what I do. I don't do it every week, but I do it often. There's a lot of, for those that are like, I am dead set on addressing my cellulite, there are some things that you can do in office. I don't think that they're getting great results. And I wouldn't waste your money on it, but I'll tell you about it anyways. They used to have a Quo shot that you'd give a shot in the dimple, and then it would miraculously, which didn't make any sense to me, dissolve the fibrous bands. I don't think we want to dissolve them, or we want to cut them if they're big areas. There's a lot of things that they're doing. The Quo, by the way, was now banned because it left almost permanent bruises on people. So if you think that you had a problem with cellulite, replace that little dimple with a purple bruise that doesn't go away for a year. That's not a good exchange. Not a good exchange. They took it off the market. They're doing other things now like Selfina, but it's not done so much anymore. Selfina was that round device that they put over the dimple. Say you had a big dimple here, they'd put it over the dimple and it would go into the skin, and they'd move it, and it'd have these little claws on it, and it would cut these little fibrous bands. Again, the amount of healing that took was very big. The bands grow back sometimes, and so you're looking at now a structure that doesn't know what it's doing. They're not having good results with that. One of the things that they are doing, here's what I can tell you, the rich and famous, because it's not affordable for your average person, not affordable for me, is to do Sculptra injections and to do subcision while you're in there. So I think you guys have heard me probably talk about Sculptra before. It's not a filler, it is a collagen stimulator. And so what some doctors will do is they'll take a Sculptra injection, and while they're in there, they'll move the needle this way to kind of try to break the bands around some of the dimples. So it's Sculptra injections with subcision. That's what they call it. Anything that goes in and cuts the bands is subcision. There's also another device that's being used right now that goes in and goes this way in the fat cells, hooks, and then breaks the bands coming this way. I personally don't think, unless it's like you are never gonna put on a bathing suit because you cannot stand the cellulite, I personally don't think that any of those in-office procedures are worth it. They're not really worth it. You can also fake it till you make it, which is sometimes what I do. Self-tanners can go a long way. Body makeup can go a long way. And then you strut it, and then that's it. And you still do the stuff that's going to create health in your overall being and in your skin. So I did want to talk a little bit about just the effect of like what happens when we go through menopause. I mean, it's pretty crazy. All of the stuff that starts going downhill. So cellulite goes up, and there's a lot of stuff that goes downhill. But this is what I wanted to talk about. When we increase, when our estrogen decreases with age, right? What can we possibly do about that? So what are the treatments that we can do specifically? And this isn't like a quiz or anything, but there are some pretty logical things that you could think of when it comes to, let's talk about what happens with hormonal decline and cellulite and what could we do about it. So if our estrogen is going down, and we know estrogen is associated with protecting our bones, our brain, and our heart, apparently it's also associated with protecting our thighs, because it does coincide with an increase in cellulite. So if estrogen declines, you might want to consider hormone replacement therapy. That is something you can discuss with your doctor. If you missed the live I did with Dr. Barbara Taylor, make sure that you click on that and check that out. She is a wealth of knowledge. But there's a lot of other stuff that happens when your hormones decline. So hyaluronic acid in your skin declines. So through menopause, the moisture content, the hyaluronic acid in your skin declines. Think about this. When our moisture declines, we're going to have more of these dimples, right? So that's one thing that happens. One of the things that happens with menopause is a decrease in hyaluronic acid. If you're on my collagen supplement, it's not mine, but I love it. This has been proven to increase hyaluronic acid in the skin. They're testing it. It increases it in the blood. It's showing up in the skin. So being on a hydrolyzed collagen supplement is one of the ways that we can kind of address that lack of hyaluronic acid, or that decrease in hyaluronic acid as we age. Somebody asked a question here. Let me see. Always on demand. No idea what that means. Thank you guys so much for being here. Okay. So the other way that we can do that is when collagen declines. So collagen as a part of menopause declines. Collagen supplements, that's where they come in. We can also create little microtraumas. So that's where the Dr. Penn M8s come in. That's where radio frequency comes in. That's where the chemical pills come in. That's where retinoids come in, right? Retinoids are creating that cell turnover. So we can think about retinoids as kind of a microtrauma. And for those of you who are on retinoids and you get like that little peely face, which I have right now, of course it's a microtrauma. Why else are we doing that? It's creating your skin to become to create more cell turnover. It's creating little kind of friction in your skin that's causing an increase in collagen. So that's one of the ways that we can do that. Through menopause, circulation declines. So now think about all of this stuff that's happening in midlife. Our circulation declines. Guess what happens when cellulite increases? It's a lack of circulation. It's not moving out all of that fluid. So if our circulation declines, how do we fix that? Red light therapy and movement, right? Those are two ways that we can help with our circulation. Red light therapy and movement, okay? Our lymphatic drainage declines as we age. That's when we can start using manual manipulation to kind of help with lymphatic drainage. So that's something else that declines in midlife, lymphatic drainage. So I'm trying to let you guys see, this is why our cellulite increases, the appearance of it increases as we age. The bands have always been there, but our circulation has declined, our fat increases. A lot of people in midlife, your fat increases. When your fat increases and your bands are tight, it pushes up on the skin, on the epidermis, to create the mattress effect. So can a decrease in circulation add to a bigger appearance in cellulite? 100% it can. 100%. Can an increase in fat cells add to more cellulite appearance? Yes, absolutely it can. Can a decrease in lymphatic drainage, naturally, because we're losing our circulation, can that increase in the cellulite appearance? Absolutely it can. Can a decrease in muscle mass increase cellulite appearance? Absolutely. Are you sure it does not happen at any age? It does, Melissa. That's a great question. It happens at any age. That is true. If you've got these bands, I'm sorry, we all have the bands. If you have dimpled skin like this, if you've got cellulite, you can start. This can be apparent. I mean, it's apparent in babies. Have you ever seen a baby with cellulite? It's part of our anatomy, especially in little girl babies. It's part of our anatomy. It's who we are. That'll go away as we kind of start sprouting up, right? We lengthen up as we age. We kind of fill out and lengthen and fill out and lengthen. We get to a certain point in our mid-20s when our collagen starts declining. This isn't necessarily for only menopausal women. I'm just trying to explain menopause comes with so many gifts, and one of them is also an increase in cellulite appearance. But if you're in your 20s, it's the same thing. Can a lack of movement increase cellulite appearance? 100%. Because you're lacking circulation here. Can an increase in adipose tissue, increase in fat, add to your cellulite? Absolutely. Absolutely it can. Can a decrease in muscle mass, if you lead a sedentary lifestyle, can a decrease in muscle mass add to cellulite appearance? Totally. It totally can. Water retention. When we get older, that was a great question. Thank you for that. Yeah, I don't mean to only talk about midlife. I'm just happen to be 55, so I'm in the thick of it. I'm in the thick of it, friends. Let me take a little sip of coffee. Water retention. As we get older, and not only as we get older, if our diet is full of salt and alcohol, there's a lot of stuff that will make you retain water, which is why, for one of my clients who said, not one of my clients, I'm sorry, me, who I thought I went to a beach resort, and I'm like, God, my cellulite's looking pretty good right now. I'm doing all the stuff that at home, I'm doing all, what I should. I go and have a couple cocktails the night before, and I'm like, what? What happened? That's fluid retention. As we age, fluid retention also decreases. And so not only that, so there's a lot of different ways that we can combat that. Of course, drink more water, because when your body is receiving water, it's flushing out water, and then you can do lymphatic drainage. But as we get older, our thirst receptors diminish. Sorry, I've got a little frog in my throat. As we get older in midlife, our thirst receptors diminish. So we mistake hunger for thirst. So we think that we're actually hungry. No, sorry. We think that we're actually hungry when in fact we're thirsty. I always get those mixed up. We think that we're actually hungry when in fact we're thirsty. So our body mixes those up when we're in midlife. And then also our toxic load increases. Some of the mercuries, the heavy metals, all those things just keep piling up, which makes it really difficult to kind of flush things out of your skin. So that's basically the causes. Like I said, there's no fix, but there's a lot of things that we could do at home to kind of just help that whole situation. And then you guys can make that decision. Is it something that you want to embrace? Is it something that you're just like, you know what? It doesn't matter. Everybody has them. Everybody has it. I'm just going to strut my stuff. Fantastic. Oh, Young Goose just came on. By the way, this is one of the best products I think I've ever tried in my life. This is just so random that Young Goose just came on this. They sent me a bunch of skincare, and I'm loving this bio barrier serum. I'm loving it for my neck and post microneedling. I'll tell you guys more about that next time I microneedle, but amazing stuff. So that's it. You've got 3 different choices when it comes to cellulite, right? We can either embrace it and just think I'm the majority. I'm in the majority. I have it. Yes, but that's what it is. I'm alive. Great. You can do that. We can hide it under clothes like I've tried to do before. When I had that couple cocktails the night before, I'm like, I don't think I want to take off my little cover up. And that's no fun, or you can do something about it. And I think on any given day, I do like all three. I think on any given day, I'm like, screw it, and strut my stuff. And then I'm like, you know what? It's fine. I'm going to accept it. And then it's like, what can I do about this? Change the things I cannot change. And I think it's like, you know, it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of everything. But the things that I suggested today are not necessarily for cellulite. You know, it's not something that we really need to treat. It's part of our female anatomy and the way that our bands are connected between our skin and our muscle. It's normal. It's natural. It's nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, in the 17th century, it was celebrated. It was celebrated. So this only been recently, like since the 60s, when Vogue started saying, we need to treat this. And then all the marketing dollars came in. Buy this cream, do this, do that. There's a lot of bogus stuff on the market today, you guys. Things that don't really work. Well, tomorrow, we're gonna get up close and personal with my cellulite tomorrow, because I'm gonna go through like all the at-home treatments. I'm gonna do a full dry brush treatment tomorrow. I'm gonna do a full treatment with this Glow 910 Plus that is like a fascia blaster. I'm gonna do a full treatment of foam rolling. Let me grab this real quick. I'm gonna do a full treatment of foam rolling. I'm gonna show you guys what my routine is for this. So how do you do this? How do you incorporate this? Sometimes it's really, I'm ridiculous, but for me, and I think for everybody, consistency is key. If you do this one time, you're gonna feel great afterwards. Your legs are gonna feel a little bit light, but is that really gonna do anything in terms of your long-term health and the health of your skin? Not really. So if you're gonna incorporate something like this, how do you do it in such a way that you're consistent with it? That's the trick. You don't want to be the person who's like, oh, I have this trip coming up in December where I'm gonna have to be in a bathing suit. Oh no, what do I do? It shouldn't be like that. It should just be, I have a trip coming up in December and I have to be in a bathing suit. Okay. This isn't something that you can cram for your finals. I mean, there are a few things that you can do that show a difference right away. Just know that they're temporary. Would you post tomorrow on your main feed? I'm not gonna be able to watch you tomorrow. You know what? I'm gonna do it tomorrow just because you asked. Normally, I'm gonna do it, Elisa. Normally, I post my Saturday, which is more educational. I post on my main feed, and my Sundays, which are more demo based. I post on my subscribers club, which is $4.99 a month. But that's normally what happens. But I understand that you want to see the whole thing, and I'm gonna give you the whole thing. So tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., I'm gonna do a full treatment. Look at this. I'm gonna do a full treatment of this Glow 910 Plus. I'm gonna do a full treatment of dry brushing. I might even do a full treatment of radio frequency on my thighs. I'm gonna show you how to roll out with one of these beauty rollers. We might, in the end, do a little microneedling stamping so that we're addressing not only down here. I'm not gonna do squats tomorrow, but maybe I can do a leg workout before, because we do want to build with the muscle. So if we're looking at it from top to bottom, health from inside out, outside in, build the muscle. Muscle mass decreases at the mid-30s. Build the muscle, you're going to have less cellulite appearance. Increase the circulation, because this decreases with age. Increase the circulation from red light therapy, from movement. This decreases with age. You're going to have a lot less fluid retention when you're increasing the circulation. Watch what you're eating, because as our metabolism dips with age. Why? I have a ton of tips on boosting your metabolism midlife. A ton of tips that work. But if you just let this get out of hand and your fat rises and your bands are stiff, because that's what happens. This is what happens with age, just like everything else gets stiff. The fascia gets more stiff, the bands get more stiff, and then that creates, with the increase of fat, more of the dimpling effects, right? And then when we're talking about the dermis, where collagen is stimulated, why, if we stimulate collagen, doesn't it stand to reason that the skin structure is better? That starts diminishing mid-20s, where we lose 1 to 3% of our collagen per year. Let's do something about that. That's radio frequency, right? That's microneedling from the top that will call on the fibroblasts to produce that collagen. There's a lot of different stuff that we can do. Hi, Cindy. There's a lot of different stuff that we can do. Should we? That's up to you. That's totally up to you. I try to do the things that I feel this helps my whole entire health. It's not just about what is in the mirror. It's about the health of the skin, the health of the being. Red light therapy is great for you. Lifting weights, building muscle mass is great for you. Lymphatic drainage is great for you. Microneedling, great for you. All of these things that I'm talking about, increasing collagen content, hyaluronic acid in your skin, that's all great for you. These are all whole health stuff, not just your thighs, right? And let me show you again. Cellulite, everybody has it. Doesn't matter how fit you are, doesn't matter how skinny you are. 80% of women. That's like 18 and older, 80% of women. You get to midlife, you got all those other things with the decrease of estrogen. All those other things start happening, right? So our circulation goes down. Our lymphatic drainage ability goes down. Our collagen goes down. Our elastin goes down. The body's energy goes down. The circulation decreases. There's so many things that happen. Our fat increases. Our bands get tighter. As we age, it just gets worse. As we age, it gets worse. So you can decide to treat that, or you can decide, you know what, I'm fine with all of my ripples. And I think for me, it's both. I think it's both. I treat it because it's good for my health. And does, in treating it, because it's good for my health, make the appearance less? It does. Just like anything, when you're talking about the health of your skin, and we're talking about the health of our skin, but we're eating right, and we're exercising, and we're sleeping right, and we're meditating, right? We're continually having we're socially involved. All of this stuff affects your skin, your water intake, you know, what you put into your body, your toxic load, it all affects your skin. Well, when you're doing these kind of treatments, it's going to affect your skin as well, because it's all just good for you. Okay, so I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. I have a client right now. I'm going to post this real quick, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11. And man, oh man, are we doing a lot of stuff tomorrow. Okay, I'll see you then. Thanks, guys.